Good evening and welcome to South Boston Speedway in South Boston, Virginia, the site of round 7 of the Smokin Tires Sprint Car Cup Series here on Full Throttle Television. My name is Brody Hanna. With me in the booth tonight is going to be Tony Solari. And Tony, this is the shortest track on the Smokin Tires Sprint Car Cup Series season schedule. And with short tracks come short tempers, you know. So what are we looking for tonight?
Well, it's South Boston. It's the typical. You got your 8 lap heat race, and then your 60 lap main heat. And yeah, short track. Not a big field tonight, so they're going to have a little bit more room than they thought. But it sure is a short track, and it's actually a lot of fun to drive in these cars.
Yeah, short track, short tempers, and short laps for short heat. So, like you said, you talked about an 8 lap heat. These guys are not going to have a lot of time to get it done in the heat races, much less the main. They're out for the qualifying laps tonight already, 2 laps. But man, you talk about a short track. These things rip around this track, and these laps are going to go by quick. We got to talk quick for these heat races.
It's going to be, I'm calculating about a minute and 50 seconds per heat race. So that's almost half of what we're normally used to, which, we were getting about 4 minute heat races before. So yeah, it's going to be, it's going to go real quick. And again, they're going to have, they don't have a huge field. So it's going to be a little bit more room out there. And it is a tricky little track though. And the wall comes up quick up that straightaways.
Yep, and you guys bear with us tonight as these heat races click by. We're going to try to tell you as much as we can about it before they end. It's just the way it's going to work. And this is another track. You talked about the track, the way it is. It's another one of those progressively banked tracks where, like, the second groove is kind of where you want to run, it seems like, in these cars. You're going to see people trying to use the bottom and maybe even the apron, being as flat as it is. But you're going to see racing all across this track, I believe.
Well, in my little practice, the bottom, towards the apron, like you were just saying, was pretty good. The car kind of gripped down there and it hug around that line real nice. You just got to watch that wall, and obviously, if you're running too wide around here, passing is going to be a premium, and it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Well, let's see if we can take a look at the track description tonight. Like you said, really, really short track. Kind of a flat track. There's a little bit of bank in there too, and of course we're going to be racing into the night. It looks like we're going to get the sunset here pretty soon, and it's going to have a lot of fun here. So looking forward to that. And before we get going, let's go ahead and throw it to our sponsors right quick so we can get this racing action underway. Racing action from the Smokin Tires Sprint Car Cup Series is brought to you by Team 126 Racing, your home for hard-nosed short-track racing action from the UK. Like and follow them at facebook.com/Team126Racing. By Butt Kicker. Feel what you've been missing and experience immersion on a whole new level. Visit thebuttkicker.com to see all of their amazing products today. By Track Racer. Experience refined gaming for yourself, including the new Alpine Racing TRX system. For more information, visit trackracer.com today. By Edwards Setup Shop, proud setup provider of the Smokin Tires Sprint Car Cup Series. Visit facebook.com/Edwards Setup Shop for more information. And by Epsilon Sprint Wraps, the place to get your sprint car and dirt racing paint schemes. Visit facebook.com/Epsilon Sprint Wraps today. All right, and with that wrapped up, we're getting ready for racing here already. The Heat 1's going to be starting very soon. Let's get that out of the way. And Heat 2 will be shortly to follow. Again, these laps, 8 lap heat races, 60 lap mains. The first 2 heat races will set the starting order of the main. And the heat races are actually inverted, I think. I think it's 7 at the top. So everybody would be inverted tonight for the heat races. So should be fun to see some of these quick guys come from the back, Tony.
Yeah, we're only going to have about 5 guys per heat race, and I'm looking through the roster. Greg Drelling's not here. The Biesinger family isn't here. Who else do we have? John. What is that? For not? No, I can't remember his name right now. Damn it. But yeah, there's still a lot of good drivers in here. We got Michael McMurray's. It looks like he took the pole spot, and he is, he's our race winner for the last 2 races.
Oh, we're gonna start a jar for every time you call him McMurray. Every time I call him McMurray, anyway. But yeah, you're right. We're missing a lot of people. Well, a lot of people. We still got the fast guys. And Ty Bostic's here. Huff Stutler's here. Yeah, see, there I go. Murray's here, and so you're still gonna have the same guys kind of battling up front here. Look for a pretty clean race, probably a green race. For this short track, so that should be interesting for these guys to try to manage those tires as we see every week and see who can come home with the win. Again, Murray won the last two races, looking for three in a row here, trying to catch Bostic with his three wins. I'm excited. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm excited for these races. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, from what I'm looking at, they're skipping. Or no, they are in a heat race, but there's only one heat race. Looks like.
All right, so we don't have enough for two, so everybody's going to be in the single heat race, and this heat race is going to set the lineup for the main. So a good little warm up here for everybody. Kind of get everybody out on track and getting used to the crowd. But remember, guys watching, that there are no cautions for this, so they're going to race straight through 8 laps, and then we'll head on to the main event.
Yeah, our main event is 100 laps this time around, so they're going to have to go a little bit more distance as far as lap goes. But obviously, with a small track, it won't be. It should be around the same amount of tire wear.
All right, we're looking at our starting lineup here. You see Standard starting on front with Newingham starting on the front row, Billy O. Smith and Bostic next row, and then you got Walk and Huff Stutler, Necula. I'm going to mess that up all night. Starting fifth, he's a newcomer. We'll see what he can do. Sixth is Michael Murray. Seventh, Leighton. And then eighth, you got Christopher Standridge, Billy O. Smith, and Wayne Bridges. Rounding out your 10-car heat field here.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of interesting. This it's going to be a little quick race before the big guy, and yeah, about a minute and 50 seconds is what I'm assuming. Looks like Billy O. Smith, he had an issue. I don't know if he got back in his turbo though yet.
It looks like Standridge, O. Smith, and Wayne Bridges. None of those guys are actually on the track, so I'm not so sure they have. I think they are set up for. Are they set up for two races, or did these guys just decide to sit out?
Yeah, I don't know. It's showing me the Heat 2 is going to be skipped. So
Okay.
I'm not sure. Maybe something with the connection losses happening around the same time.
Well, here we go. Pace cars off. Gonna see what these guys can do. Watching Newingham and Ed Walk on the front road. Walk gets a good jump, and he's going to take off with the lead. The battle's for third.
Yeah, I'm watching everybody now too. It's where do you want to be on the track at the time? And I know the tires get a little greasy. Oh, we got already a spin. It looks like the 94 and the number 15. Although at least that's what their car numbers say.
The bad thing is, with no cautions, these guys, such a short track, you come up to it real quick. You've already got 5 laps to go, and these guys battling for third now.
Yeah, it looks like it was Sean. Sean's actually having a little bit of a rough time around there. He looks like he just went back to the pits, got a tow job out of there. That was 2 spins and 2 laps.
All right, the battle's here's for second. Actually, you got Michael Murray putting pressure on Ty Bostic for second. Ed Watkins he's walked away with this.
Yeah, he's got almost a second lead on everybody right now, and it's a quick race, but there's only 3 laps to go. Anything can happen still.
Yeah, coming to 3 to
go.
go.
We got second and third both getting each other. Ty Bostic and Michael McMurray just barrel rolling down the front straight.
Fourth and fifth just right together as well, but Newingham keeps it going. Necula is he looks like he's out. Bostic up to second, Newingham third. That was Murray. That was your winner from last week, Murray.
Yeah, he was he got the bad end of that one, and well, Ed Walks, he was kind of happy to see that, but now he's got Ty Bostic on his tail right there.
He is. He's right there and closing in. We're coming to 1 lap to go. Final lap of the heat race, and Bostic sends it in there.
Yeah, that low line, and he's running pretty low. We'll see where he goes.
Is he going to do it? No.
No,
looks
probably
like Walk
not.
is going to hold off. Ed Walk takes his first heat win of the season. Holds off Ty Bostic. Newingham finishing third. Leighton squeaking through that mess and finishes fourth. Billy O. Smith ends up fifth.
That was exciting and fun.
That was exciting. That was a lot of fun, but it was quick.
Yeah, and I was actually really surprised that Ty was able to get through that without too much foul, and he was able to close up on Ed like that.
Well, guess what? We get to do it again
For 100
right
laps this
away.
time.
Oh, 100 lap heat tonight. So probably about the same distance with the extra laps here.
Yep. Well, I can run through the rundown here. We've got Ed Walk and Ty Bosick starting in the front row, first and second. Then we got Bryant Newingham third, Marshall Layton starting fourth, Billy O. Smith in the fifth position, Michael Murray in the sixth position, Jesse Necula in the seventh position, Sean Huffstutler eighth, Christopher Standers ninth, and Wayne Bridges 10th.
All right, there's your run through.
Yeah, and I'm actually looking. I'm waiting for all the field to come up, making sure everybody is back on the track. I mean, it's showing. I don't know if Christopher had made it back yet, but Billy O. Smith is back on here.
On my screen, he's showing in the pits. Yeah, he's not out on track, it looks like.
Oh well, it's showing me he's in the server at least.
Yeah, he is in the server, but he's not out there. Neither is Chris Standridge or Wayne Bridges, who you were talking about. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah, well, if they didn't get the if they didn't make it in when they were ready to hit green, they have a pit from the start. But I don't even see him on pit road yet either, so I'm not really sure what's going on there.
Well, regardless, we got 7 cars on the track, and you got Murray and Huffstutler in the back. You know they're fast, and you got Ed Walk up front, Ty Bostic, who was challenging for the lead there. We're going to see some pushing and shoving here. I think let's see some good old short track racing. As the green flag's out, we're underway here, and Ed's going to jump out to the early lead.
Yep, he got a great restart there and took off. And now let's see. I'm already looking at Michael Murray, and he's starting to make moves already for fourth.
He's up to 4th place. Meanwhile, Walk and Bostic up front. They put some space on Layton, who's running 3rd. That's going to be Murray's next victim. Is the 22 of Layton.
And we know he's fast. He put down the top pole lap, so he's got something out there. It's going to be tire management too with 100 laps. The tracks aren't very tight here. They're still carrying pretty good speed, but you kind of give it some scrub, a little break on entry, and you scrub them tires a little bit.
So everybody kind of minding their P's and Q's here. Not much going on here. These guys know they have to kind of take care of these tires too. It's really easy to run your tires up here, running in too hard, running off too hard. As you see, Bostic get a little loose there off the corner. Got a little too low. I think it upset his car.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Sean Huffstutler right behind him too. He's kind of the same thing's happening. You get a little wiggle in those corners. And then it looks like we got Jesse Necula just in the rear, just kind of doing his thing and hanging on. He's new to the league, so I don't know how much experience he has in this kart, but so far he's keeping it clean.
Yeah, he's running back there in 6th, watching these guys race up here. It's Huffstutler in 5th. There's 4th of Murray, and Murray's going to look to the inside. Maybe not. Layton shuts the door.
Yeah, it's one of them. You got to have a decent run, and it's you don't want to overdrive these corners too because you will be in that outside wall. There's not a lot of grip out there. I found a lot of that grip being down low, kind of where they're at now, and it looks like everybody's finding it too.
You saw a wiggle. We're on board with Murray here. You saw a wiggle of from Layton there. Thought it was going to be an opening, but Murray was unable to capitalize. But they are both, I think, kind of closing up on your top 2.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised Ty hasn't made that move yet. He's just kind of minding his business, just kind of hanging out in 2nd, just kind of ghosting Ed right there. And
if I had to guess,
make moves.
If I had to guess, he's probably saving his tires a little bit right now, just knowing that he thinks it's a little bit faster. He can capitalize. Oh, you see Murray kind of get on the bottom a little bit. Knowing that he can capitalize eventually, but doesn't want to burn his tires up. As I say that, he starts to close in on our leader.
He must be listening to the broadcast. And you could see Michael Murray too. He wants by Marshall Layton bad, and it looks like he's making that move now.
You got Murray going about Layton, and you got Bostic going for the lead under Walk. He's going to take over the lead here on lap 13.
Murray got the job done on Layton too. Now,
we got somebody up on the...
Yeah, looks like we got a yellow. Who was
that? Billy O. Smith, it looks like. Let's take a look and see what happened here. Full throttle television replay coming out of turn 4, I believe it is. Into turn one, everything looks fine so far. Coming out of two is where he has his issue here. Gets loose, hits the inside wall, bounces up to the outside, and just tries to stay out of the way. So that's awful sportsmanlike of him.
Yep. Well, you give these things a little bit too much gas and you're spinning, and it's kind of hard too on cold tires. It does take about 4 to 5 laps for these things to start getting a little bit of grip and confidence in them before you really want to start hanging it out.
I beat a dead horse every week talking about how hard these cars are to drive, and I haven't said it yet, but these things are a handful for sure. And the guys that do this are really talented to be able to hold. Just honestly, it's more throttle control than anything else. Just being able to control, modulate that throttle, keep the grip in the tires, and keep the car going forward. It's just it takes a skill in itself.
It is, and it's I almost want to just drive them a little bit more just for practice, just to practice throttle control, and it's a different throttle control than when you're running on dirt too. This is, you don't want these things to get sideways, so you really got to manage it to keep that thing driving forward. And I know we say it enough, but if you're watching, you can just see it. These things are a handful, and it takes some skill to drive these things, especially consistent and quick as some of these guys, especially our 2-time and 3-time winner already.
Absolutely, and you see those guys. Our two-time winner is third, or three-time winner is leading. So Cream rising to the top here early on. But you got Marshall Layton looking for that first win. I talked to him after last week. He said he's finally kind of understanding these cars and starting to get a feel for these cars and starting to put it to use. We saw him pretty quick last week, and he's showing it again tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Last week he was showing his face. You think you obviously think the league owner would probably be pretty good at and dominant in some of these cars and tracks, but yeah, he's figuring it out just like some of the rest of them, and they are challenging.
Yeah, he's learning just like everybody else. Again, Ed Wack having a good run tonight as well, up to second place. Was able to hold off on that heat. So again, having a good run for him as well. A couple guys we're looking to get their first win of the season. So we'll see if they can do it. Pace car is pulling off. We're going back to green. Lap 18 here of 100. Green flag's out, and Ty Bostic jumps away to an early lead.
Well, that's not uncommon to see. He's got that restart in the bag, and he just knows how to squeeze that throttle just enough just to get that thing a good launch off. And I'm looking at Ed Wack now, too. He's got Michael Murray right behind him.
I was just about, what a sandwich right there with their, you got 5 wins around you, behind you and in front of you here.
Yeah, and it's an intimidating sandwich to be in right now, but he's holding it. Ed's doing a great job right now.
Meanwhile, Layton did not get a good start at all here, and actually he's being challenged by Huffstutler back here for 4th. And looks like Huffstutler's going to take it to the inside and move up to 4th place.
Yeah, I didn't see exactly what happened to Marshall, but yeah, he definitely looks like he's a little off pace right now.
23 laps in the book. What, a quarter distance? Is that right?
That would be about a quarter distance, yeah. And then Michael Murray just did get by Ed Wack for 2nd place. Yeah, so let's see. We got the 2-time and the 3-time winner right now going. Looks like they're going to be going battle.
This is what I wanted to see head-to-head, because those guys have both been kind of talking about each other, knowing that, they're battling each other for these, the most wins. And honestly, in points, as Murray kind of climbs his way up through the points, these guys knew that this is going to be their competition. Not to take anything away from anybody else, because we could see Huffstutler take off and win a few of these as well, because he's been extremely fast. He's one guy I've kind of kept my eye on. You got Newingham, who's had really good runs as well. You got Layton figured now. Oh, and Wack.
Oh, Ed, yeah.
Caution's out.
I just caught it.
My radio sound bad out there.
Well, he knows it hard to the inside wall too, so I don't know if it's going to do some damage or not to his car.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at it. The front end doesn't look a little got a beat on it, but doesn't seem like it's driving bad.
We're right on board with Ed here. Down into turn 1 and 2. Just gets on the apron a little bit. Upsets the car just a little. He almost hangs on to it and then loses it last second right into the inside wall. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, and that could have been, the two quick guys got in front of him. He's just trying to hang with them a little bit. Just gave it a little bit too much of a squeeze off, but doesn't look like he's in bad a shape. So he's got a small field to deal with too. I'm willing we're going to see him back up there.
I can't explain to you though how minute of a mistake it takes to get these cars in that position, because he was just a very little loose off the corner, and it came. He was chasing it, and with these tires being staggered, it's really easy to chase it one way too hard, or kind of overcorrect or whatever, and that's all it took.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like he might be going a lap down now too, Ed, just because he might have more damage than we're thinking. But yeah, like you were saying though too, it's like a pendulum, and once it starts going one way, it's very hard to get that thing to correct and keep it straight once it gets into that opposite direction. And when you do see a guy out there and he's saving it, you got to give that guy a hand, because that's harder to do than to keep it straight, really.
Yeah, because I mean, in some cars, all you got to do to save is kind of turn the wheel the other way a little bit and correct. But here, you're modulating the throttle already. You're already guessing kind of where you need to be on the throttle. So you're doing that and trying to correct the wheel and knowing how much to turn and how much gas to give it, maybe to tap the brake. There's a lot going on in every corner before you even have an issue and are trying to correct.
And it gets out of shape so quickly. You got to make the right decision at the exact second it needs to be done, or it's lost. And the momentum that they're going, the speed they're going too, it doesn't give you a lot of correction confidence.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
so just to run it down, you got Ty Bostic up front, Murray in second, and now they're going to start nose to tail here on this restart. We'll see what these guys can do with each other. Pace cars off, lap 31, and green flag's out.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate to see Ed Walk still in the pits. He's looks like he might be out for the night.
Yeah, that was some pretty heavy damage. It looks like he got on the front tires. But anyway, you got Bostic up front, Murray chasing him down, and you got Son Hufstadler. I mentioned him a minute ago. He's watching these guys, wanting to get that first win.
Yeah, he's been so close the last few races. I know he's got a good heat win. He's made some very impressive moves in some of the heat races, and yeah, let's see what he's got. He's still got there's plenty of racing to go. A little over 60 laps, 65 laps actually. So yeah, there's still plenty of racing to go for some of these guys.
You got Jesse back. Oh, you see Marshall Layton get out of shape and hit the inside wall.
I thought I saw something back there.
Yeah, just turned back to look at him, and he just got loose off turn 2 and smacked the inside wall with that left rear tire. I wonder if that's going to cause enough damage for him to have to pit here.
Yeah, he got loose, kind of similar to what happened to Ed there. Just a little bit too much throttle on exit. He didn't hit the wall nearly as hard, but yeah, there might be some wheel damage.
Let's go back and look at that here. Goes through turn 1 and 2 here on the bottom. Just yeah, it looks like he gets a little higher than he wanted to off the turn. I don't know that hit on the inside wall is going to warrant him coming to pit road. It wasn't that hard of a hit, honestly.
Right, and I'm watching him on pace laps, and he hasn't actually gone down to pit road yet. And yeah, he doesn't seem like he's hurting much.
Okay, let's.
I mean, the car looks straight, and he's going straight still, so it's probably okay.
Let's see. We might even have let's see. What is it? Right rear. That's the left rear we want to look at. It looks like it's in good shape from what we can see on our cameras here. It's pointed in the right direction at least.
That's half the battle, right? Looks like they're having a little bit of a lining up order issue right now, so they don't know where exactly they need to be.
I know where you need to be tonight. You need to be here watching this broadcast. These guys put on a great show on Sunday nights, every Sunday night. And it's a lot of fun to watch. Little short heat races, and then you got a 60 to 100 lap main, depending on the track length. Join us every Sunday here on Full Throttle TV and watch these guys manhandle these cars and see who ends up on top and who can be the best. This is round 7 of 12, so we've got 5 more events to go this season, and they just announced that they're going to be doing it next season as well. So looking forward to next season, seeing what these guys are able to do. We got a great schedule up to the end of this season too, so I can't wait to see what they come up with next season.
Yeah, all these short tracks still coming up. I know I'm waiting for the Martinsville race, being one of my favorite tracks, and yeah, it's yeah, and they're doing it again next season, and it's that's cool because these are just to fill a field of guys who want to drive this on a Sunday night. I mean, it just tells you something about the
Green
league, and
flag,
tells
green
you something about
flag.
the car and the drivers themselves. Because this is not an easy thing to do on a Sunday night. Usually people want to relax, have a beer or two, that way we're getting ready for work on Monday. But now these guys are like, no, let's manhandle these things.
Here we go, and they've got a battle for the lead here. The green came out about a lap and a half ago. Lap 42 of 100. We're getting close to halfway here, and these guys are starting to feel it now. You see Murray starting to put some pressure on Bostic here. Look at that low line Murray's running.
Yeah, it's a good line. There's a lot of grip down there, and if you just got to turn in early enough to get down there. But yeah, you can make some decent speed. The car hugs great down there. Although you look at Murray now too, he's trying that high line.
That's because Bostic went low on the straightaway there. So a low entry into the corner, man. These guys are trying everything they can, but that bottom lane, you talking about having grip down there. Yeah, there's grip down there, but there's also a risk associated with getting that low.
Yeah, and I didn't notice it too bad because usually you do get a little bit of that apron to track transition that kind of upsets the car, but not nearly as bad as it is trying to make that pass on the outside, because you saw Murray, he couldn't make that thing on the outside work.
That's
Lost a little bit.
That's 2 or 3 times I've seen Bostic wiggle, and that time it sent him up the track. He's struggling a little bit with the handling, and Murray's putting a lot of pressure on him right now. Look how close these guys are.
Yeah, they are not even a half a car away from each other. It's pretty good. It's starting to heat up.
Well, if you could get these cars air loose, he'd be getting them air loose. But I don't think there's any of that going on with these cars.
No, not at all. And we're getting close to almost halfway here.
Yep, they'll come around and complete lap 48, 49 now.
I'm just kind of watching Sean Huffstutler in the back there, and we got Jesse Necula kind of not too far away from Sean. And you just got to wonder if they're, they're riding a little bit higher up the track. Maybe they're just saving a little bit of tire.
I wonder if Murray's, abusing his tires, trying to run that lower line, because he is running a little bit lower than Bostic. So I wonder if it's hurting his tires. I guess we'll see in time. You see him; he's got those left side tires on the apron.
Yeah, you could definitely tell that it is his preferred line. He's been running as low as he can get.
As soon as I say that, he moves up the track. So
Well,
now he's back to the bottom. Okay, looks like he's just searching. Honestly, probably just learning at this point, seeing where you can get that pass done for later in this race.
Well, it's one of those things. You go high to try to make a pass, and the guy might, go high. It's kind of mind games too. And I don't know if these guys run their mirrors or not in the car, but you don't know if the lead guy even knows how close the second place is to him.
Well, if they had mirrors, this is what they'd see. We're on board in the gearbox, of Ty Bostic, looking back at that 14 car of Murray just hounding him lap after lap. And I can tell you from a racing experience, having a guy in your mirror this close can be awful distracting if you pay attention to it.
Well, that's why these cars actually have the option where you can turn the mirror on or off. So it's kind of one of those things where,
Yeah, he probably don't
close your eye.
Yeah.
If I don't see it, it's not there.
Yeah, because if you're looking in the mirror, you're not going forward. I think somebody once said that, and that's awful true. So you want to, focus forward, do the best you can, and just hope it's enough. You see Bostic again get loose right there, and it shoots him up the track. Murray wanted to try that, but the door wasn't quite open enough for him.
He was looking. You can almost see him salivating behind that helmet.
What a great battle. I mean, we're seeing 2 of the greats here out here tonight with these 2 guys. I mean, again, between them, they've won 5 of the 7 races. So, obviously they know what they're doing out here. But 2 of the greats out here, 2 wins versus 3 wins. Murray's trying to catch him with 3 wins. Bostic holding on to his car right now. And this is just a blast, and just really shows the talent level of these 2 drivers.
Yeah, and you know, every time you see the car wiggle and get a little loose, that's just giving it a little too much throttle, and you almost see Ty do it again right there on
He
the
did.
straightaway.
And it's funny. Oh, here goes Murray looking to the inside.
They're side by side now.
And they're just trying to squeeze that throttle, get the most they can off the corners. You see Bostic hold off here.
Oh,
Oh, no!
Caution.
Ty got
Boss,
Ty
ain't
got
doing a good
loose,
job.
and
You want to give us an
Murray
update on
just
that car?
unfortunately had nowhere to go.
That was a big wreck. And
Ty is on his lid, and I don't know. It doesn't look like anybody's going to come over and help him. He towed back to the
No.
pits.
Ty and Murray hit the wall turning around. I can't imagine those cars are going to be driving too well. I mean, if we saw Walk park it with his damage, these guys are going to have some major damage. And he's coming to the pit. So, yeah, that's unfortunate, but that's racing too. I mean, these guys were giving it everything they could and trying the best they could. We saw Ty, his car step out a couple of times, and finally it just did a little too much. He was unable to catch it.
Well, that's the short track curse, you know, especially in a car like this. You know, you could be winning, leading, running a great race, and one little mishap, and you're sideways. And unfortunately, the battle was so close between the two of them. Murray didn't make that situation any better, and unfortunately, he got involved in that himself. I'll tell you who's not complaining though. Sean Huffstutler. He is now taking over our lead, and you got the new guy Jesse Necula starting second.
Yeah, so so one man's trash is another man's treasure. And that's not the saying I was going to go with, but either way, uh, unfortunate for
It's close
some,
enough.
fortunate for others. Yeah, so Huffstutler was able to snake his way through when that wreck happened. I was watching him too. He was just kind of trying to find a hole and to get by those guys as they were flipping, and was able to do so. And the door opens up now for Huffstutler, who we've been saying deserves a win so far at this point, just hasn't been able to capitalize. And here it is. The door's open.
Yeah, doors open for sure, and we're not ready to hand him the trophy just
No.
yet. I mean, unfortunately, we just saw what happened with our second time and third time winner battling for the lead, and yeah, it's still really anybody's game right now. Unfortunately, there's not as many guys in the game right now. We have 5 guys still continuing on the lead lap, and but we are going to have a winner tonight. That much I can tell you.
Actually, I'm showing 4 on the lead lap. It was like Murray lost a lap, so he's a lap down. In 5th, was able to. Is he still? Yeah, he's not even on the track. So Ed Walks out there and trying to get a position, but he's laps down.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we only do have 4 guys on the lead lap right now. Yeah,
Pace car's off. Here we go. We're going to go green. Huffstutler up front.
Green
Necula
flag.
second. Leighton third. Newingham fourth. Oh, we got a big wreck. It looks like
That
that
looked like
was
it was
Necula.
Jesse.
Yeah. No
He
caution.
He just got the fence ride,
That puts
which is
Leighton.
not a pleasant ride.
No, that's not where you want to be. Huffstutler's second is first. Leighton moves up to second. Newingham up to third. So, and that's your lead lap cars.
Yeah, and Jesse, it looks like he had to get towed back just because you can't get off that fence. So we got 1, 2, 3. We got the podium guys basically out on the track right now.
Well, we know who we'll be talking to probably, most likely. Now Murray's
Most
still out
likely,
there
yes.
because Murray could still a podium spot if one of these other guys have issues.
Yeah, it's they're points racing at this point. You know, you just gotta get out there and get as many laps in as you can.
I misspoke. It was Walk. Walk is still out there. Murray is looks like he's done for the night. But yeah, so out front you got Huffstutler. You got Leighton in second, who's got Huffstutler's got a pretty good lead here, and then Newingham's he's got a pretty good gap on Newingham. So these guys are kind of spaced out now. It's all about managing your tires. We saw how easy it was to lose control and throw this thing away. And you see Huffstutler trying to. It looks like he gets on the apron a little bit, gets a little loose, but I mean he made the smart play. You know that wreck, going back to that previous wreck with those two. I mean you're so close. All it takes is one small error, like we were talking about, and being as close as you are, there's no time to react.
Nope. none at all. And yeah, just but that's short track racing too. And just think if the field was even bigger, it could have involved more cars, and it could have been a lot worse than it was. And but it's still unfortunate for the other two guys. But again, Sean's looking at it right now, and he's thinking to himself, all I got to do is just drive smooth, drive clean. He's got a great lead right now. And you got to think if you're Marshall or Bryant, what do you do? Do you try a push, or do you just kind of just stay there and just kind of take what you can get?
Well, if I'm Marshall, I'm looking at that first win, you know, right there, right in my sights, and I know it's going to be hard for him to kind of tamp down that excitement, but you've got to only you need to push as far as your car will let you. Looks like he gets a little on the apron there. I don't know if he's got the speed to catch Huffstutler. I need to look at the gap and see how it's coming down or going up. But
Yeah, well, Marshall's still running a little slower than Sean right now, and I know we saw Marshall already get a little loose too. It's one of those things. Do you want to go for the podium or go for the win? And you got to decide how do you want to make your bet, I guess, at this point.
Well, and I'm saying this speaking from experience, but sim racers and race car drivers, we're all greedy. You give us third, we want second. You give us second, we want that win. You give us a win, we want the championship. So it's never ending. You give us the championship, we want another one. So that's just the nature of the beast, and honestly, it's human nature too. So it's going to be real easy for for Marshall Layton to try to push a little harder here, trying to get to Sean. I just don't know that the car is there for him.
Yeah, right now he keeps he's still getting walked away by Sean. The lap times aren't anywhere even comparable right now. So
You could have another caution. You could see Sean make a mistake. There's a lot that could happen here in 18 laps because we've got 18 to go. There's still a lot that could happen. And if I'm in Sean's seat too, that's another thing to think about. No mistakes. You don't want to make a mistake. Just run as hard as you have to stay ahead of Marshall. Hope that the caution doesn't come out, and just bring this one home.
Yeah, and from what I've been seeing, that's kind of exactly what he's been doing right now. He's looking really clean, real straight. I haven't seen him bobble at all. And we go back earlier in the race. You just saw him. He wasn't running low on the apron. He's still not really running low on the apron. He was just kind of saving his stuff. He was very smooth early on, so it's definitely paying off for him now.
Yeah, the gap back to Marshall's now up to 3 seconds, and you got 12 seconds back to Newingham, who he's coming up to lap here in just a short order. So you want to make sure that that's nice and clean as well.
Yeah, I mean it's Sean's to lose right now. So hopefully he can just keep hitting them marks and just keep it clean. And we'll see what he does when he gets to Bryant here. Hopefully it's going to be a nice clean pass.
You're talking about how drivers are. And the leader comes up to lap you. I don't care if you're third. I don't care if you're 30th. You're like, no, I want to stay on this lead lap. It's a pride thing. I don't want to go a lap down. So I know. So we'll see how this plays out. But I know in the back of your mind. Here you go. All right, he gives him the inside. He's very very sportsmanlike move there.
Yeah, well, I mean he's still sitting in the solid third place right now.
That's true too. That's true. That's a good point.
That's a good points night for him. Hey, it's a podium finish. He'll be up here talking to us, and that's still not a bad thing. Not a bad place to be in. Let the speedy guy goes by. Just let him do his thing, and you're still in the same company. When you talk about podium finishes, lap down or not.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got under 10 laps now. 9 laps to go here. Coming to 8 to go at South Boston for the Smokin Tires Sprint Car Cup Series, round 7. Looks like we will have at this point a new winner.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm kind of looking at Ed Walk in the back there. He's he's running really good. Too bad he had that early record and kind of took him out. But
yeah,
he was a strong car tonight.
Yeah, he had a good car for sure. Just made that one simple little mistake, and that's what cost him. But he's still going up 5th, maybe 4th here. He may actually pass Jesse here since Jesse had an issue. So
yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Yeah, he might actually steal 4th from Jesse. If I don't even know if Jesse's still on the track.
I don't think he is. So he may get by him here. 5 laps to go. And they're going to happen quick here because we talked about how short this track is. And I tell you, I like this track too. It's an oldie but a goodie. You know what I mean? This is just one of those tracks, and if you can win here, you feel like you did something because this is one of the birthplaces of NASCAR, and it's where a lot of the short track guys kind of cut their teeth.
Yeah, it's a fun little track, and I've driven a lot of different cars out here, and it always makes for a fun little race, just because it is. It's short, and exciting. Corners come up quick. It's always giving you something to do.
All right, Sean's backed his pace off a little bit too. He's just trying to soft pedal here, make sure not to make a mistake. You got to be careful sometimes though. Doing that will get you in trouble too sometimes.
Well, yeah, you get out of a little bit of a rhythm, but here he is. He's only got one more lap to make that rhythm work for him.
Final lap. Down the back stretch into 3 and 4. And we will see Sean Huffstutler finally get that monkey off his back. He's going to take win number 1 in round 7 of the Smokin Tires Sprint Car Cup Series here at South Boston.
Yeah, then we got Marshall Layton with second place, Bryant Newingham third. Ed Wack did close up that gap for fourth. Jesse Necula is in fifth. Then we got Michael Murray sixth, Ty Bostic seventh, Billy O. Smith eighth, Christopher Standers and Wayne Bridges. I don't know if they had connection issues, but neither took a lap for ninth and 10th. But yeah, it was a fun race overall.
All right, well, we're going to thank our sponsors right quick. We'll come back and talk to our top 3, who I think we actually will have all 3 of them, and see what they thought of tonight's race right after this. Racing action from the Smokin Tires Sprint Car Cup Series is brought to you by Team 126 Racing, your home for hard-nosed short-track racing action from the UK. Like and follow them at facebook.com/Team126Racing. By Butt Kicker, feel what you've been missing and experience immersion on a whole new level. Visit thebuttkicker.com to see all of their amazing products today. By Track Racer, experience refined gaming for yourself, including the new Alpine Racing TRX system. For more information, visit trackracer.com today. By Edwards Setup Shop, proud setup provider of the Smokin Tires Sprint Car Cup Series. Visit facebook.com/Edwards Setup Shop for more information. And by Epsilon Sprint Wraps, the place to get your sprint car and dirt racing paint schemes. Visit facebook.com/Epsilon Sprint Wraps today. All right, and as we take a look at your results here from South Boston Speedway, you got Sean Huffstutler taking home his first win of the season. Marshall Layton with a great run, his best finish so far this season of second. You got Bryant Newingham in third place in the 17. Ed Wack rebounds after that wreck and was able to come home with a fourth place finish. Newcomer Jesse Necula, we'll double check the name because that just does not sound right. Maybe. Will finish in fifth place in the 84. Sixth place is going to be Michael Murray, last week's winner. You got Ty Bostic, the 3-time winner, in seventh. Eighth is going to be Billy O. Smith. Ninth, Wayne Bridges and Christopher Standridge, who I don't believe was able to even take a lap tonight. Him or Wayne rounds out your top 10. Well, Tony, we saw some exciting stuff tonight. We saw the 2 leaders have issues. We've seen issues in the back, and we saw a heck of a battle there before that happened. A little mix of everything here at South Boston.
Well, it's a short track that produces short track type things, and I think we saw a little bit of everything. That exit, the slippery exit, and some tight passes along with some wrecks that unfortunately hurt some guys.
Did I hear Denny Hamlin? Did you say something about short track racing?
I didn't say it, but yeah,
it is what it is.
Feeling.
Yeah, it happens. Well, let's listen. Let's talk to our third place finisher here and see what he had to say tonight, because he saw a little bit of everything too. All right, Bryant Newingham, a great third place finish, man. You got a copy? Bryant Newingham, this is Full Throttle TV. You got a copy?
I don't think I don't know if he's got his mic hooked up. I know he just came into the server a little while ago.
Well, he might be getting a drink or something, so we'll skip him. We'll go to our second place finisher, and this is the guy I've been wanting to talk to for a while, and finally getting to talk to him. Second place finish, man. One spot short, but a great run tonight. No issues, just a solid run. You saw the leaders. What happened to the leaders there? But man, what a solid finish tonight. 100 laps around South Boston. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you, Brody and Tony. Yeah, South Boston is a really, really hard track to get around. It takes a lot of patience to get around South Boston. I screwed up. I screwed up there at one point, and I thought I was done, but I didn't get no inks off of it. So had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we saw that. Now that you bring it up, I forgot about that. Sorry, but yeah, I did see that. You got a little loose, and it's the same thing that our leaders did, and I saw somebody else do it as well. You get a little loose off the corner, and it's so easy to overcorrect, and you get the thing wiggling down the straightaway. You just barely touch that inside wall. But talk a little bit about what happened right there.
I just come out of the corners. I just come out of the turn and got really loose. These cars take a lot of throttle control and a lot of patience. It's probably took me a good month 2 months to get a handle of this car. They're really really difficult to drive, and they're a ton of fun. Um, so, but anyway, I had fun tonight. Y'all do a really really good job on the broadcast, and I appreciate everybody.
Hey, I appreciate it, but yeah, definitely these cars. We talk every week about how hard these cars are to drive. So to be able to come on with a second place finish, to hang it out there on the short track like South Boston, again, great job, great second place finish, and we look forward to talking to you more often. Now you got to get up here more often so we can talk to you every week here.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Brody. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for everybody that has put the league on and a few sponsors that we have. Wanted to give a big shout out to Edward Setup Shop, Butt Kicker. Them guys, they really help us out on the setups, and then the Butt Kicker,
Absolutely.
and then y'all guys, y'all do a great job on the broadcast.
Hey, we appreciate it. We enjoy doing it. We talk about it every week about how fun these guys are to kind of watch and handle these cars. So it's tough. So again, congratulations tonight, and look forward to talking to you again.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, there's your second place finisher, Tony. Marshall Layton bringing it home second place.
And I'll vouch for that setup too. He gave a shout out to the to Edward Setup Shop, and yeah, they came up with another great setup this week too. And I can't wait to hear what Sean's got to say about it.
Well, let's see. Let's see if we
see
get
Brian's. Yes,
yeah.
Brian.
Let's see Brian Newham is just Full Throttle TV. You got us. All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and skip him. We're gonna get our winner in tonight. Another fine performance by Sean Huffstutler, and finally gets that monkey off his back and gets his first win of the season. Sean, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. That's kind of disappointing, though. That's not the way I wanted to get a win, but I'll take it.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, listen, we talked in our broadcast, Sean. Every week it seems like we talk about you because we've seen speed out of your car week in, week out. You just haven't been able to capitalize. And regardless of the situations, you put yourself in a situation to capitalize for something like that. Those guys are racing hard up front, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But man, talk about week in and week out. You've got speed. You figured these cars out. What is it? How hard and what does it take to kind of control these cars around this track?
Oh, this is the best car to drive in iRacing if you want to learn how to throttle control. It helps you in every other car that you run. Yeah, throttle control is huge with things. The SN will come out at any time. You have to be real easy on and off the throttle, on and off the brake. Yeah, they're probably the most difficult cars to drive in iRacing.
And that makes it fun. I know. It seems like everybody we've talked to about this says the same thing. They're so hard to drive, but they're so fun when you can do it and you get it right and you can dial it in and I honestly think it teaches you a lot about racing in general. It's just the throttle control I think would make you a better racer in general, no matter what you're driving.
Oh, absolutely. I know it's helped me with my cup stuff and even on dirt. So Yeah, this is a huge place to come and learn how to actually drive.
Well, we enjoy watching it for sure, watching you guys kind of perfect your performances out here. One thing that didn't look too perfect is what you saw in your wind. Well, you in front of you, not in your
Front
windshield,
of
in
me.
front of you. Yeah, right there with the leaders, man. Talk about when you saw that. I saw you snake your way through it. I'm like, man, he just tiptoed through it, was able to put his car right where. But what was going through your mind when you saw that? This car's flipping in front of you.
Well, they gave me a warning about 3 or 4 laps prior to that. They started getting racy with each other. I actually kind of probably gave up another tenth just to back up from them a little bit. Um, because I saw them getting racy. I was kind of expecting it. It was either they were going to make a clean pass or both of them were going to get taken out. And next thing I know, cars are flipping in front of me. So
Well, I mean, we were talking up here after it happened that, that's just race, man. These guys were going hard after it. But it's a lot of fun because they were racing extremely hard, but extremely close. And I was talking about how skilled it made those drivers to be able to do that with the cars the way they are, to be able to be that close. But man, when something like that happens and it breaks loose, you're right there on it. There's nothing you can do. There's no reaction time that's going to save you from some kind of mistake like that.
right, and those two guys are great drivers. Week in and week out, everybody's chasing Guy and Michael. So
Well, listen, as a fan, I enjoyed watching. I mean, they were just laying it out there, and they were just going. And it was fun to watch from a fan standpoint, and from a driver standpoint. I'm sure it's fun too because you're pushing the car to the 100%, and it's all fun and games until something happens. But hey, that happens. That's racing. It is what it is. Well, listen, let's talk about your win tonight. First one of the season, 7 races in. You got a guy with 3 wins. You got a guy with 2 wins. You're climbing. You're right there in the points. So, kind of tell us how this sets you up for the next 4 races to end the season.
oh, anything can happen. I just gotta continue to be consistent week in and week out. Stay out of trouble. I can't win them all, but I have to put myself in position to get a good finish each week because you got Ty and Michael and a lot of these other guys. Any of those guys can win any given racetrack. So
Well, you may not have the wins, but you've been extremely consistent. Like I said, we've talked about you. Seems like week after week. It's one of the guys. You're one of the guys I always kind of keep an eye on because you're so consistent. You're up there every week. It doesn't matter the type of tracks. We've seen some of the guys be a little streaky. They win a couple of races and they have a couple of bad races. You're always right up there in the top five in the mix. And so to finally get this win, I'm sure relieves some pressure. But honestly, I mean, you've been up there the whole time. You just finally, took advantage of it. So again, congratulations, Tony. You have anything you want to add?
Well, I'm just curious to know. It feels like the setups, because I've been kind of playing along with you guys, and yeah, these setups have been feeling really good, especially on these last short tracks. I'm just curious to know if you've got any input on that.
I agree with you. Both those last 2 weeks setups have been really good. So um, I think they get them. I don't know exactly where they get the setups from, but wherever they're getting them from, it's working.
Yeah, they feel a lot more comfortable and just a little bit more confidence. I mean, obviously, too, like you were mentioning, the car is very difficult to drive, and it is a great learning tool. It kind of changes your whole mindset of how to drive a car. And yeah, if you do a lot of this, it'll definitely carry over into the other series. But yeah, that was yeah, the setup has been good, and yeah, congratulations on your win, man. That's awesome. We've been watching you, waiting for this day to happen, and don't sell yourself short. You gotta, you said you didn't want to win that, but then you also saw it happen in front of you, and you laid back a little bit. So I mean, that's just a racer's thing too.
A smart race is what it is. Well, again,
Right.
listen, it wasn't a layup either. This track's not one of the easy. This is the shortest track on the schedule, and it's a pretty difficult track to get your handle on. So it's not like you just kind of had a layup there. So again, I want to congratulate you, but hand you the mic. Is there anybody out there watching you'd like to give a shout out to, or any sponsor you'd like to thank?
Hey, just all the racers in the league and the admin for everything they do. I know we had kind of a light turnout tonight, but hopefully everybody comes back next weekend.
All right. Well, Sean, again, congratulations. Got that first one. Now go get another one. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
There's your winner tonight. The number 24, number 94, Sean Huffstutler, Tony. And again, this has been coming. This is just a matter of time, and finally things worked out tonight, and finally got that win.
The only person that's been waiting for it more than us is Sean himself. And I know we still got Bryant down there if we want to try him one more time.
Let's try him one more time. Bryant Newingham, you got us? Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to get with him tonight. But
yeah, he's here, but he's not here. Fortunately,
that's a good finish for him.
Yeah, no, third place. Even though being a lap down, hey, it's third is third.
It's a solid finish, and that's really all you can. From what we saw tonight, that's all you can kind of hope for. Is he just stayed out of trouble, was able to march home to a third. So congratulations to him as well. Well, that's going to about do it for us, Tony. You got any closing thoughts?
Not really. Just another fun short track. We got another fun short track next week. I don't even remember where we're going next week.
Let's pull it up.
Maybe
Phoenix. We go to Phoenix next week. That's one thing we haven't done yet. We'll look at the schedule. Phoenix is next week, so that should be interesting. A little bit bigger track for these cars. And how are they going to handle the dog leg? Are they going to do an open dog leg? Is it closed dog leg? Stay tuned to find out, because honestly, I don't know either.
That will add an extra mix into this too, especially with these little cars and how they like to move around. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. You got the flat side on well, now it's 1 and 2, and then it's banked in 3 and 4, and oh yeah, it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be fun. That's a fun track. Then you got Martinsville. You were talking about that. You can't wait to get there. That's your bread and butter. We're looking forward to that. Then we head to New Hampshire. Then we got a USA International, and end the season at New Smyrna. And so that's where we'll crown the champion. But yeah, we got 5 races remaining. I said 4 earlier. I misspoke. We got 5 races remaining, and we will be at Phoenix next week. So that's going to be about it for us. So
another great race, another great league.
Another great race tonight. We saw Sean Huffstutler get the monkey off his back and get his first win of the season. You've got 3 wins with Bostic, 2 wins with Murray, and I almost said McMurray. And we'll see who can get a win next week at Phoenix. We'll see you at Phoenix Raceway. For Tony Solari, my name's Brody Hanna. Thank you to Smokin Tires, and thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next week.